especially on vacation, you're like, okay, if I want to get to the hotel at a decent time and not feel like I'm wasting $100 and some odd dollars.
You have to edit all of this out because you're only allowed to have one topic for pre-show chatter. So that's too bad that the people will never hear about it.
So, Andrew, there's an important question I've been wondering about.
Yes?
You texted me the other day on accident, supposedly.
Accidentally.
And you said, do we need the 20-foot or the 26-foot? And I said, F it, man. Just go with the 26-foot.
You did recommend the 26-foot.
What did you go with?
I went with the 20-foot.
And I only assumed you were talking about U-Haul.
I was talking about U-Haul. So I don't know if I mentioned it before on the pre-show chatter, but my wife and I, we started a gymnastics program last year.
I was in gymnastics when I was little.
Yeah, my wife and I, we were both competitive gymnasts growing up, and so we had always talked about opening a gym because, go with what you know, right? We know gymnastics. I've coached gymnastics. She's coached gymnastics.
Yeah, I want to open up a gym too, but a weightlifting gym.
Yeah. And so we kind of put it on the back burner, and then a couple families asked my wife, they wanted their kids to do just, toddler little kid classes, like, hey, will you coach some classes out of our church? So I was like, yeah, sure. And then we got insurance, and we opened it up, and we've got 60 or 70 gymnasts, and we've got a wait list of like 140, 150 kids trying to get in, but we just don't have the space. So
did you hear the chiropractor opened up the gym?
That's right. Repeat business. Yeah. So anyway, we were going to try to record a couple nights ago. But I was like, bro, I got to go to sleep. I got to wake up early.
I couldn't make it happen. I tried.
No worries. Oh, no worries at all. Folks, the amount of times that I've had to send Jeremiah a message.
I was like, I feel so bad. He sat there for 35 minutes waiting.
No, sir. No, sir. The amount of times that look, Jeremiah and I both work. We both have kids. We've got stuff going on. The amount of times that I've had to text Jeremiah and say, I can't do tonight. Like we'll push it back. And he's been super cool with it. I know in text he's been super cool, but I'm sure out loud at home he's like, this guy has commitment issues.
Yeah, a lot of beep words come out of my mouth.
Understandable. I could and I get it. I respect it. Like I would be like, man, this guy is always rescheduling. Anyway, so got really fortunate. I'm a big believer in Tony Robbins, he says, where focus goes, energy flows. And so, you just kind of put it out there. We're going to build this thing. We're going to find, and we're all the time looking for people selling used gymnastics equipment. And I'm very fortunate. One of the guys, so during chiropractic school, I actually coached gymnastics at night. And so one of the guys that I coached with, who's basically become my best friend at this point.
Nice.
If adults have best friends, he's my closest friend.
I'm 40, and people tell me, when are you going to make some friends up here? That sounds weird.
I don't really have time for friends. I'm 40 years old, don't have time for it. But my best buddy, Kenny, shout out Kenny, he owns a gymnastics equipment company where he sells, rents, leases, repairs gymnastics equipment. So if he goes to a gym and he's talking to people, they're like, yeah, we're going to get rid of these bars, he'll shoot me a text.
Oh, nice.
Anyway, so he called me a couple months ago, and he goes, hey, I think the University of Georgia has a really good women's gymnastics program, and they were talking about buying a new floor, a new competition floor. And I said, oh, well, let me know if they want to sell it. He goes, will do. So he talked to him about it and goes, hey, what are you going to do with the floor? They're like, I don't know. What should we do? And he goes, well, I know this guy, he and his wife, good people. They're starting a gym up in the mountains where there's no gymnastics. And they would say, oh, just let him have it. Just let him have it. What? So, yeah. So it's, this base floor, like it's Olympic level floor. It's not just regular. I mean, it's
I assume we still have to buy a little bit because the size of the building, I would assume.
Well, we need the building, right? That's what we're looking for. Yeah. But the floor itself is a $25,000 base floor.
Oh, so you backed out of that other building?
So there's two buildings that we were looking at. One of the owners was just a jerk.
You said the other one, like, was certain. You had to do certain things to bring it up to code.
Yeah, just got to that was the building. The guy was like, we're like, hey, here are the things that need to be fixed. He's like, that falls on you. I provide you a building. You do everything else. Like, don't be a pain. And it's like, bye.
Yeah, really.
Bye. We don't need to. Yeah. We can see how this relationship is going to go.
Yeah.
And then the other building, the firewall needs to be updated, different things. So we're waiting to hear back from them. But I talked to somebody else Wednesday evening about some building possibilities. Anyway, we didn't record the other day. I had to get up super early, get the 20-foot U-Haul, go down to Athens, get the floor, play a round of golf, drive back home, unload.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of sports, I know. Stick to one topic on your pre-show, Chowdy. You know what? This is our podcast.
Are there rules to pre-show? I don't think there's rules to it.
Not today.
Yeah.
So his first game is on the 24th, Friday.
What are we playing again? What's it playing
baseball,
again?
literally.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So it's like a month and a half once the games start, and there's 12 games, and I was like, there's one Friday, there's one Saturday,
there's
one a couple of days away from that.
Yeah, let's go.
So I've been having a lot of fun practicing with him, using the rebounding net. We just got like a tethered T-ball.
Sure, yeah.
It's, the deal on the hook, and you hit it and it spins around.
Yeah.
And he's been nailing that every time.
My guy.
We're working on, throw really far, stand way back there and just throw it as far as you can every time to me. Because, he needs to throw at least 90 feet. So, yeah, we've been doing that, and I'm trying to work on him, don't jog, run.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't jog, run.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we're going to go to the batting cages this weekend.
Yeah.
Practice the batting, and because we got a big field over here, but the batting cages, he can practice,
it's all about repetition.
Yeah,
it's all about repetition, getting the swings in, getting used to it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm trying to work on his speed because he goes to bat, and he's...
Oh, yeah.
Why are you swinging the bat in slow motion, bro? I'm not that dad. I'm not that dad to be like, oh, what are you doing? But
it's good feedback.
Yeah, when we go home,
good feedback. Like, hey, look, you want to be good at this? You got to swing it faster.
You know what's going to happen if you hit the ball like that? It's going to bounce 10 feet, and you're going to be out. So you got to hit it like you want a home run every time. So
I'm super fast, Dad. I'm super fast.
It's fun. I didn't know what to expect when baseball. What? I don't even like sports. So I'm like, baseball. But I'm like, you know what?
That's a very Hufflepuff of you.
Well, for not knowing anything about baseball, I know a little bit. I know enough. And when I hear the coach talking, I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I learn it little by little. There's not a lot to learn, really.
No.
But for him, it's the first time he's ever done anything like that. And,
good for him.
He needs to be in a team sport around other kids, and it's great.
He might just turn himself into a Gryffindor.
Well, I mean, man, we got all this stuff, and I'm gonna get like a pitching net, a throwing net.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah.
But the season being a month and a half, I'm like, well, they got the batting nets down at the baseball field. We could just use that. So
sure.
It's just that with his ADD, try to keep it. If any other people are around, he'll get distracted. I need your full attention. Yeah. Once you figure it out, do whatever. But
let's go.
While you're figuring it out, yeah. No, it's
boom.
It's awesome. It's awesome to go out there and play catch, and he's afraid to catch the ball still, so we're working on that.
He'll get it. Yeah, he'll get it. It's just too bad that you have to edit all of this out because you're only allowed to have one topic for pre-show chatter. So that's too bad that the people will never hear about this.
They won't. They're just waiting for me. They're just waiting for me to say, "Welcome back, witches, wizards, and muggles to Squibs Corner." I am Jeremiah,
and I'm Andrew, and tonight we're jumping into a fun chapter, a weird chapter, a necessary chapter. Who knows?
To be honest,
who knows?
All these chapters are fun. Everything except for chapter 1.
Yeah.
Kind of unnecessary.
Yeah, kind of unnecessary.
They're fun. It's character development.
It's a way to introduce some people into the story, back into the story.
And
but
it really puts you there.
Yeah. So we're talking about chapter 6, the Portkey of book 4, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Before we go backwards, let's recap chapter 5. Weasley's Wizard Wheezes. And the long short of it is Harry is truly back at the Burrow. And we see all of the Weasley kids, including Bill and Charlie, the oldest two. Hermione is there with Ginny. Ginny's obviously the daughter, the youngest of the Weasleys. And they have dinner. They talk about OWLs. They talk about the Quidditch World Cup. Ron and Hermione get an update on Sirius. Nothing too exciting. We see some fun magic. We see Mrs. Weasley lose her cool on George and Fred, who don't want to go to the ministry. They do not want to work in the ministry like their dad or Percy. They want to open a joke shop. So there's a little contention there that kind of rides through this book. And then at the very end, we learn, okay, they got to go to bed because they got to wake up super early tomorrow morning in order to make it to the Quidditch World Cup final. And you remember, Jeremiah, who's playing in the Quidditch World Cup final?
Man, you asked me this last time.
I have asked you this before, and you've read about it in the books.
Bulgaria?
I'm listening.
And Germany?
Wow.
Nope, I can never remember the second one.
We are going... Okay, so do you remember... We're going to talk about this in the next chapter. Do you remember the mascots for the World Cup teams? Okay.
I'm not even going to pretend to think about that.
Okay. So it's Bulgaria versus Ireland.
Yeah.
And just a little foreshadowing, the team mascots are the Vila for Bulgaria and the Leprechauns for Ireland. Anyway, so we're going to...
thoughts about that, too, once we get to... If I can remember what the thoughts were.
Yes. Okay, so here we are. We're starting out the Portkey. Let's jump into those 7-word summaries.
You know, before I get into the 7-word summary, if anybody listening can play a kick-ass violin, if you're interested in making a little bit of money, that'd be so cool to have some violin music on our podcast.
That'd be pretty neat.
Yeah, that's my favorite instrument. But so I had 2 7-word summaries for this. I mean, the chapters of little to no importance, so a summary is kind of hard. I'm going to go off and read both of them. So my first one is back to the Burrow. Okay, let's leave.
Okay.
But then as I kept reading, I went, okay. Amos Diggory clearly doesn't give a damn.
No.
Yeah. What an introduction.
Mine is only, it's kind of because I've read the entire series.
I have too.
Yeah, well, this one is
not what it used to be.
Rowling hasn't quite figured out magical travel. Okay. There's a couple things in here that later on in the books you're like, well, why didn't they?
What does somebody say in the movies? Like, you want me to touch that mangy old boot or something like that?
Yeah. Which here's the thing. I love the idea of a portkey.
Oh, yeah.
I love the idea of the portkey, but...
I mean, it all kind of makes sense, and we'll get to it.
Yeah.
The 7 chapter notables, however, I came up with 7. Don't know if they're really notable, but
it's tough.
Do with them what you will.
I will.
Yeah, I expect you to, Andrew.
I will. Yeah, I will.
Yeah. Number 1, Aurther being around muggles is like a kid in the candy shop. 2, Fred and George always inventing. And that one actually is important. 3, we're just now hearing the summoning charm.
This is our first introduction, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Number 4.
But you got to realize throughout we get introduced to a lot of spells in this book.
Yeah.
In particular. So, and this
I like
is
how
the
Molly
first.
uses it though. It's because she's all irritated.
When you read it, if I may, how do you pronounce the summoning charm?
Well, I'm Accio Potter guy, so Accio.
And so in my head, I'm always Accio. And then as I'm reading, I pronounce it Accio. Huh. So, I mean, the double C, I'm like, yeah, Accio. When I see the double C.
How does Jim Dale, he says Accio, right?
I think he does. I didn't listen to this chapter.
Because I know one of them says Accio and the other one says Accio. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. It's been a while since what was the other guy's name that reads?
Stephen Fry?
Stephen Fry. It's been so long since I've listened.
It's been quite some time since I have listened to all of his. But he's on the CDs.
The accents throw me off.
Yeah.
So, number 4, big events require big planning. Number 5, Portkey. 6, Amos Diggory. 7, although they're not technically introduced in this book, they are mentioned, the Lovegoods.
Yeah.
Thought that was neat. We'll start out with the opening paragraph. Harry felt as though he had barely lain down to sleep in Ron's room when he was being shaken awake by Mrs. Weasley.
Time to go, Harry dear,
she whispered, moving away to wake Ron, which she's always so nice, so soft and gentle to Harry, and then yells at everybody else.
Yes.
Harry felt around for his glasses, put them on, and sat up. It was still dark outside. Ron muttered indistinctly as his mother aroused him. At the foot
Not aroused. No, sir. Not aroused.
Oh, yeah, okay, no.
I need you to reread that sentence, please. You are not editing that out. You are keeping this in.
That's a whole nother book, guys. A whole nother book.
I think you're reading the wrong Harry Potter books, bud.
It might be. Whoops, wrong script. Harry felt around for his glasses, put them on, and sat up. It was still dark outside. Ron muttered indistinctly as his mother roused him. At the foot of Harry's mattress, he saw 2 large, disheveled shapes emerging from triangles of blankets.
It's time already,
said Fred groggily.
I love it. You can see. We've all had to get up early for a trip, for a vacation, for a field trip, for something. But
it's always the worst, like, especially on vacation. You're like, okay, if I want to get to the hotel at a decent time and not feel like I'm wasting $100 and some odd, we need to wake up at like 4 or 5. And then at the same time, you're like, that's what time I wake up during the week. I really don't want to, I don't want to start at a vacation at 5 in the morning.
But you also know, yesterday was Harry's first day back at the Burrow. You think they went to sleep at a reasonable hour? No.
If Ron would... See, Ron's hitting mitt. Ron will just conk out real quick.
But they're sharing a room with the twins.
Yeah, well, Ron's super excited about the Quidditch World Cup, too, so...
Yeah. It's like the night before Christmas. Loud. You're not going to sleep. Yeah. So, right off the bat, in this chapter, everybody starts coming downstairs. Mrs. Weasley is cooking breakfast. Mr. Weasley's sitting at the table looking over their tickets. The feel of taking the trip, like she does a really good job setting it up. So then we have chapter notable number 1.
So good. She's down there making breakfast. He's sitting at the table. It's like, man, you could, and it's probably bacon because that's all they talk about.
That's all they do. That's all they do. I love Mrs. Weasley.
My girlfriend doesn't really like bacon, but a couple of weeks ago I bought 2 packages of bacon.
I think we call that a red flag. Isn't that called a red flag
I think
in a relationship?
Yeah. But we had BLTs one night, and then the next night we had BLTs. I said, man, for someone that hates bacon, you sure love BLT. She's like, yeah, I do.
She's like, I really love tomatoes and lettuce.
I just wish bacon was cheaper, and I would buy so much of it.
Oh, yeah. So immediately we get chapter notable number 1. Aurther. They were told to go to the Quidditch World Cup dressed like muggles, kind of an effort to not draw attention to themselves, which I don't think has ever worked in the history of Wizards. But they're like, this is like standard protocol, dress like a muggle. So, of course, Aurther tries his best. The book says that he was wearing what appeared to be a golfing sweater and a very large old pair of jeans, slightly too big for him, and held up with a thick leather belt. We learn that while most everybody is going by Portkey, Percy, Bill, Charlie, they're all apparating So they're still sleeping. Now, yes.
You wear a belt, right?
I do.
Wears a belt.
I do wear a belt, yes.
Is it a black leather belt?
I do. So.
Because when I read that, I was like, that's true. Yeah, we do that.
Here's we go. Here's as many of you know, I'm addicted to golf. I'm also taking off my belt right now. So
Hey, now you're reading the wrong book.
This is my black leather belt, right? It's a Nike black leather belt. Usually
the other side's white.
Yeah, because golfing,
Yeah, nice.
I'll need, the white. So yes, and then I've got a brown leather belt. So I've got.
Remember the old braided belts?
It
felt like they were plastic.
I do remember those. Yes.
I was at Walmart and I was like, I need a new belt, and I saw stretch. Huh? It's a braided belt, kind of like elastic. Like you could hold it like this and then
just
allow.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's $10. Let me try it. I love that belt. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. When people are like, I bought a $200 belt, I'm like, $10 belts will hold up your pants, right?
Yeah. I'm also 40, and I'm like, I don't care if I have
Yeah.
Who cares what my belt looks like?
So this is kind of our first instance of. This is our first instance of. Rowling hasn't quite figured out the magical transportation, right? So Percy, Bill, and Charlie, they're going to apparate. And then later in the book series, we learn about what's called side-along apparition. Okay? I'm just going to leave it there. So we have this other thing. And I'm going to bring up another thought that I had, later. So then we learn that. So apparition is where you start in one location and then you magically disappear and end up in another location that you concentrate on and choose, which is not easy. We learn later in the books that you have to go through training. This book tells us that you have to pass a test. Not everybody. You have to. Not everybody. People can be arrested for apparating without a license.
Which is crazy. It just sounds so crazy.
It's.
Is it their version of driving?
I mean, that's the thing. Like, are people really gonna? Are there gonna be accidents? Wrecks and. Anyway, I understand what we'll get to momentarily, splinching and all that jazz. Like, we want to make sure that you're doing it right. But anyway, government overreach also extends to the wizarding world. So apparating came easy for Bill. Charlie had to take his test twice, and Percy just got his license 2 weeks ago. But still, they have to just vanish while the rest of them walk to the Portkey so they don't attract attention. Kind of transportation issue number one. Right?
Yeah.
Why can't
they use a flying carpet like Vernon suggested?
We're not worried about the flying carpets, right? But why can't each family have a portkey that takes them to their portkey?
Or they could have just did side-along apparition to the Portkey.
Yeah, and I get that he would have had to come back and forth.
Yeah.
Right?
Nothing for him.
Like Amos and Cedric showing up to the Portkey. Why couldn't Amos and Cedric could have just apparated. Anyway, those are just thoughts where it's just like Amos and Cedric would not have walked to the Portkey. They would have side-alonged. Anyway.
That's true. Yeah.
I digress. Just little things. Once you've read the whole books, you kind of read through and you're like, see that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it makes sense either way.
Doesn't ruin the chapter.
Yeah. One is more logical, but
exactly. Yeah.
So, remember the ton tongue toughies?
I do remember them. Yes. Why do you ask?
Well, funny you ask. Molly had told them to get rid of them and burnt all of the order forms, which I said, I'm pretty sure they have duplicates of everything. Well, Molly noticed bulges in their pockets in the shape of chapter notable number 2, Ton Tongue Toffees.
George!
What?
What is in your pocket?
Nothing.
Don't you lie to me. Accio.
Which is chapter notable number 3. I think I messed those up.
It is chapter notable number 3, Accio.
We spent 6 months developing those.
Oh, a fine way to spend 6 months. No wonder you didn't get more OWLs.
And shortly after that little argument, they were off on their walk. Thought we were going to pass up on a summoning charm, did you? No.
No, I never thought that.
As you remember, I am Accio Potter Guy. So this is a spell that 4th years learn. And basically, you know, we'll just shorten it up real quick. It summons an object to you.
Yeah, summoning charm.
You know, we'll get deeper into that as we go along.
We get to see some cool examples of that in this book.
Yeah.
And some
But
absolutely.
it's not just as easy as point Accio. So
No, it's not.
Yeah.
So the way that JK came up with the way that wizards and witches have to arrive at the World Cup is ingenious, right? It is ingenious when you talk about hundreds of thousands of wizards showing up in one place. You can't have them doing it all at the same time. So chapter notable number 4.
Big events require big planning.
Yeah, so chapter notable number 4, we learned that the ministry has been working on a way for all of the witches and wizards to show up in what could be a place cited by muggles, right? And make it seem like a normal gathering rather than just hundreds of thousands of people just magically showing up. So just like any other gathering, people show up in staggered formation. Basically, muggles would show up in their cars, but all cars can't diverge at the same time. There's lines. They've all got to get in one car at a time type deal, one person at a time through the gates.
If you've ever driven on the freeway, you know that there's very few people that know how to merge in the first place.
Yes. So for the people with cheaper tickets, they had to show up 2 weeks early. And some will be on Muggle transportation, but not too many at one time. Some will apparate, just like Bill, Charlie, and Percy. Safe arrival spots have to be chosen carefully so Muggles don't see a person appear out of thin air, though there aren't going to be lots of Muggles here anyway, except for a guy that's going to take payment, which is kind of funny. The guy whose land it is. So then, like themselves, some will arrive by chapter notable number 5, a Portkey, which is a magical transportation. It'd be like any everyday object. And in this book, or this chapter, we see a boot, but it can be a book, spoon, anything that doesn't cause great, like, attention, right? You walk on the sidewalk and you see an old Pepsi can. It doesn't like, ooh, let's go look at this, right? So it's nothing too out of place. You touch it, in this case, at a specific time, and it magically transports you to where the Portkey was designed to transport you to. Okay.
Which I didn't think about it while I made the chapter notable, but Portkey is a huge, huge thing in this book. Huge.
Very important.
So 2 things here. 1, I like how they had to search for the Portkey. That's kind of cool. But 2, it didn't seem like Aurther knew what he was looking for. Look around, everybody. It should be small.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah, that wasn't.
You got to be there at a certain time, and you don't know what you're looking for.
And it was also, I don't know if we talk about this. It was a long walk.
Yeah.
Like they were.
The kids were like, walk.
They were winded.
Yeah.
They were. So that's why in the beginning I'm like, These are witches and wizards.
Well, you still have to get exercise in somehow. Otherwise, everybody would just be really fat.
You don't need exercise to ride a broomstick, which is the only wizarding sport. And yet there's a whole department of wizarding sports and games. It's Quidditch.
Yes.
Quidditch. And sometimes life-size chess. Not me!
Not Hermione.
You. Let's see how they recreate that scene in the HBO. Which I am excited. CGI's come a long way. I mean, I'm excited. They're going full send on it.
Yeah. So while they're looking for this boot, it didn't take them long to find it because chapter notable number 6 showed up. Cedric Diggory and his dad, Amos Diggory. They had already found it. Amos works in a ministry for the regulation and control of magical creatures. Then we learn that Amos is very competitive, and he's also a very proud father, which is it's good up to a certain point.
Yes.
Because while the twins still haven't forgiven Cedric for catching the golden snitch after Harry had fallen off his broom,
Can I just stop for a second?
What?
Okay, I've got to ask you something, and I think
breaking the rules again.
I think the listeners are going to want to know this too. Say his name really slowly.
Cedric Diggory.
Okay. I'm hearing 3 syllables. Okay. I'm hearing you say Cedric, like rhetoric.
Yeah, his name's Cedric. Cedric Diggory. Cedric Diggory.
I just wanted I could not let you go an entire episode. Because eventually you're going to be like, Cedric Diggory. just start adding syllables everywhere. And Harrietta Potterhead.
That's all right. Cedric and Amos showed up.
Yeah, that's right. Cedric. I love it. Did you ever watch The Office?
Here and there.
Yeah, so Dwight Schrute, right? One syllable, Dwight Schrute. But Jim, his nemesis in The Office, always called him Dwight.
Dwight.
And like he just like couldn't say Dwight. He's always like Dwight. So Cedric, I'm sorry, Cedric and his father.
Well, it's like sometimes when I say no or knock, doesn't knock, isn't it Knock? I'll say Canuck and Cano. Just
because you're Canadian.
Just to be silly.
You're a silly goose.
I'm a dad. I could do dumb things now and get away with it.
That's right. That's right.
Good. So, Cedric and Amos showed up. The twins were angry. His dad, however, Ced's talked a lot about you, of course. Told us all about playing against you last year. I said to him, Ced, that'll be something you can tell your grandchildren that will. You beat Harry Potter.
Harry fell off his broom, Dad. I told you. It was an accident.
Yes, but you didn't fall off yours, did you? Always modest, our Ced. Always the gentleman. But the best man won. I'm sure Harry'd say the same thing, wouldn't you, eh? One falls off his broom, one stays on. You don't need to be a genius to tell which one's the better flyer.
And here is where I will say I hate bad writing. I hate that she left out the fact that 100 Dementors were coming towards Harry.
Oh, yeah, she could have given
Cedric
a little bit more to talk about.
Yes, I hate that wasn't brought up here. So it just sounds like, oh, Harry fell off his broom. We were playing Quidditch and he fell. No.
Yeah.
No, Cedric, because Cedric, in the last book, they're like, Cedric tried to call the thing off. He tried to say, no, it wasn't fair because of the Dementors. So now we've got this conversation like, Dad, it was an accident. Okay, falling off the broom, yeah, it's an accident. No. Bring up Amos.
Yeah.
Amos. 100. If the 100 Dementors were coming after Cedric and he fell off, you wouldn't be like, well, the best man won. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was bad writing. I hate it when scripts do that. I hate it when books do that. Bring up the reason that it happened, not just that it did happen.
Would we have called it a recap?
Yes, we would have.
Yeah.
Yes, we would have.
And also, I say Amos, you say Amos. Which one is supposed to be right?
Probably the way I say it is canon.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to figure out how to put a third syllable in Amos. Amios. Amos. Amos is just the quick hand. Amos, could easily.
This is how it's spelled.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that's how it sounds because the English language is all over that.
Everyone will say Canuck.
Canamos.
Amos Diggory. Diggory.
You can put a K in front of everything and just call it silent.
Yes. So none of the readers like Amos at this point. Immediately, None of the readers like it. They're like, no, we don't like you. We don't dislike Cedric. At this point, we don't dislike Cedric. I don't feel like there's a need. All he did was win a Quidditch game.
Yeah.
We don't hate him for that. That's literally all we know him.
To do, yeah.
Exactly. So we're not, and especially when they were like, oh, Cedric, when he realized what had happened, he tried to undo it. So then you're like, oh, we really like Cedric. And then as Amos is doing this whole thing, Cedric is like, Dad, it was an accident. He fell off his broom. Like, we like Cedric. We don't like Amos at this point. But then Parser.
I did that on purpose. Pop quiz. What name is that supposed to be?
It's gotta be Aurther.
Everybody, the script says Parser quickly.
It's gotta be
What name
Aurther.
is that supposed to? Okay, yes.
It's gotta be Aurther. I'm like, Percy's asleep.
You guys, we really want to do pop quizzes, but there's literally nothing to pop
We
quiz
don't
on these chapters.
we don't have quite yet.
Yes.
There's not enough
I snuck
meat.
one in, sort of.
Yeah, not enough meat to these chapters. Anyway, so yeah, not a good impression of Amos at this point. We're not huge fans. Aurther quickly tries to change the subject, asking if they were waiting for anybody else. And then we get chapter notable number 7. The Lovegoods are mentioned, which we're going to see them book 4. We see them throughout the rest of the series. Or at least we know about them for the rest of the series. We definitely see a specific Lovegood.
Book 5, right?
Book 4. We see him in
book 4.
Yeah, we see him in book 4.
Right.
So they obviously had cheaper tickets than what Amos and Aurther have. So they went last week. So they said, okay, this is us. We're ready to go. Which, again, begs the question, why did just 2 families have to travel to this one place? You could have easily just put a Portkey at the Weasleys and a Portkey at...
I mean, it does sound kind of nice to walk through what I'm assuming is like a open field with some trees and
maybe
while it's dark or while the sun's rising.
Beautiful.
You kind of paint the scene in your own head. It
Yeah.
does seem nice. Like, I don't like being out in the sun, and I heard somebody talking about Alaska. You know, it's a really hard place to live, and you know, during the high points of summer, they only have 5 hours of sunlight. And I'm like, sign me up.
Wow.
Sign me up. I always say, if the sun never came up, I would love it.
You're a vampire.
I wouldn't necessarily love to dry because of my astigmatism, but I can go without the sunlight. I'm good.
Wow, you pronounced it astigmatism instead of astigmatism. I like that.
Yeah,
I like this.
Too. Yeah.
Harry Potter in the
Cedric
chapter where the hosts say everything differently.
Cedric told me all about it.
So Purser told Harry. So Aurther tells Harry and kind of explains to everybody, all you have to do is just touch the boot with a finger. You don't have to grab it as long as you're touching it. And with the 9 of them huddled around in a circle around the boot, which wouldn't look weird to any muggle passing by.
Not at all.
Right?
Nope.
Dress like a muggle, but do this weird magical transportation thing so that you blend in. So Aurther looks at his watch. Cool. 3, 2, 1, and then we get the description, right? We keep track of how every time somebody travels magically, Harry describes how it feels. So, we don't know how apparition feels yet, but in later books we will get Harry's, description of that. We know how flu powder makes you feel. You go in, it's warm, it's tingly, and then you're pulled through this flu powder system. And so you step into the plane, they turn emerald green, clearly enunciate. Clearly.
Not
where you want to go. Yeah, provided it's connected to the flu network. You travel, you're spinning at a high rate of speed. You keep your elbows in so that you don't knock into other fireplaces. Very, very loud roaring noise. You get a glimpse of other people's rooms or houses if they're connected to the flu powder. And then when you reach your destination, you just kind of like stop.
Try not to fall down.
Yeah. With the Portkey, the book describes it as this. After touching whatever the Portkey may be, at whatever particular time you need to touch it, it happens immediately. Harry felt as though a hook just behind his ear had been suddenly jerked irreversibly forward. His feet left the ground. He could feel Ron and Hermione on the other sides of him, their shoulders banging into each other when they were all speeding forward. A howl of wind and swirling color. His forefinger was stuck on the boot as though it was pulling him magnetically onward, and then his feet slammed into the ground. Ron staggering into him, he falls over. The portkey hits the ground near his head with a heavy thud. And it's obvious that Amos and Cedric had done this a number of times because they were standing straight up, learning where to go next. And I think Aurther was standing up as well. And Harry hated that. Yeah. Right? Harry hated that. He's like, I hate that I'm on the floor. And they were just talking about how the better man won. You know he hated that. Yeah. So then they hear a voice. 5:07 from Stoatshead Hill.
I like the chapter. Is it important? Does it add to the story? I think it does. But it's like, I want to go to Hogwarts. I want to go to Hogwarts. But I like that we're kind of lingering and doing other things, you know?
Yeah.
So I like it. And it's showing you more of the Weasleys' house, the Weasley family.
Sure.
Different pieces of magic. Now we got Amos or Amos with Cedric or Cedric.
Yeah, the chapter in and of itself does nothing for the plot, right? The fact that the whole chapter is them waking up, walking to the portkey, they touch the portkey, they end up where they're supposed to be. I mean, that is the plot of the chapter. But we are introduced to Cedric. We're introduced to Cedric. And we get Accio in there, so we're introduced to that spell. And I've always wondered why Molly didn't go with the family. You know, she's like, Aurther, I'm going to send you with 9 kids. Not 9 kids. I guess you could say Bill, Charlie, and Percy aren't kids, but still, I'm going to send you with Harry and Hermione, along with the twins and Ron and Ginny. She's like,
maybe she doesn't like Quidditch.
Maybe she's like, I am going to get some peace and quiet.
Yeah.
That's what Molly's doing. She's going to get some peace and quiet.
It's
but
definitely
really,
not anxiety, because with me, we had to watch someone's kids, and it's all good. They're good kids and whatever. But with my anxiety and everything Noah's going through and she's going through, add 2 more kids to the mix, and I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah, it's a bit much. It's a bit much.
Yeah, but Molly, that's not Molly. Molly's surrounded by kids, and accepts Harry as her own son right off the bat.
Yeah, and you would assume Hermione at this point. Like, Hermione's coming over. Yeah, they're best friends with my son.
Because, in the movies, I guess Hermione shows up, but I think in the book she's there more, and it always surprises me because she's just there. It's not announced or anything. She's just there. So I kind of like that. She's just an open invitation to come whenever she wants. Harry too, and it's great.
Yeah.
That's man. I remember being little, and you had that one friend. You could just walk into their house, open up their fridge. Like, it didn't matter who was home. If nobody was home, you could still go over there. That's what the Weasleys are. Like, we've all had that one friend growing up. Like that one family. It's great. It's great. That being said, thank you all for listening or watching or however you're getting this into your ears. Yeah. Don't forget to press that subscribe or the follow button. And if you have the option to leave a comment or a rating, please do so, because it will help spread us out to other Potter lovers, which isn't that who we're supposed to share it with? I forget.
All of the Potter lovers.
Yeah. And then join us for next time while we recap Chapter 7. It's starting to get good. Bagman and Crouch. Go ahead and leave us with this. Let me through! Let me through! Let me through! That's my son! That's my boy! It's my boy! Squibs Corner is hosted by Jeremiah Lobot and co-host by Andrew Beecham. We would love to hear from you, so drop us a rate and review, to inquire about being a guest and for questions and comments, or to just give us your Harry Potter story. Email us at squibscorner@gmail.com. To watch Harry Potter merch unboxings, follow my YouTube, @KillPotterGuy. Lastly, you can leave us a voice memo and follow us on Instagram at Squibs Corner Podcast.